Welcome along to the GG.CO.UK Glorious Goodwood preview for day 3, which is Ladies' Day on the Sussex Downs, where the main event is the Nassau Stakes for the fillies, won last year by Wild Illusion, who is likely to take her chance again and try to defend her crown. But Charlie Appleby's filly has not been at her best so far this season. She ran last time out in the Pretty Polly Stakes and was a little bit disappointing that day, and has a little bit of soul searching to do, but she is returning to the scene of her best win. We don't know exactly what's going to be running and where, but there are a few fillies that have been penciled in for this race. One of them is trained by John Gosden, called Medii. I really like her. She's going to step back in trip. She quickened off a slow pace to win a Grade 2 at Song Clou last time out. I think this trip should suit her. She's a steadily progressive filly. I think she's versatile in regards to the ground as well, Medii. She has a little bit of class, and I think Medii would be just about my selection in the Nassau Stakes as things stand. Also with the solidity that we know she's gonna run in the race. Once again, I'm joined by two excellent pundits, Sam Turner and Andrew Mount. Lads, the Nassau Stakes, what do you make of it this year?
Well, it's difficult because Aidan O'Brien's got 9 entries. We're not sure where he's going to go. 2 or 3 of those are off on breaks. He'll probably evaluate what actually runs closer to the time. So it is difficult to recommend strong selections in the race. I think the filly that you've touched on, Medea, the Cheshire Oaks winner, she's obviously got that class. You know, she didn't acquit herself particularly well in the Epsom Oaks, but she was a little bit unfortunate there. She got trapped in the backwash. I don't think it was Rab Haviland's finest hour, and I just don't think she handled the trap particularly well. So
a bit one-paced as
well,
wasn't
she's got a bit more speed than that. You know, obviously we saw at Chester the acceleration and the change of gear that she's got is quite spectacular.
She's running a lot on soft ground, but I think she's more versatile than that. I actually think summer ground might help her out a bit.
Maybe, yeah. Obviously the undulation.
The
undulations at Goodwood might be the slight concern because obviously the switchback track at Epsom she didn't cope with particularly well. But last year's winner in this, of course, which you touched on, Charlie Appleby's Wild Illusion. She had a pretty industrious 3-year-old campaign, didn't she? She went out to America for the filly and mare at the Breeders' Cup. She just got touched off that day, and I wonder whether she is just paying the penalty a little bit for quite an
She hasn't been herself
busy summer.
Season, has she?
No, she wasn't disgraced last time.
Not disgraced, but I mean, when she on Racing Post ratings at least, she hasn't ran up to a figure above 110, for example, which is poor for a Group 1 filly, and I think she'll struggle unless she can bounce right back to her best. She will struggle to defend her crown in the race. Did you have a strong opinion on it?
Well, I think the Stout trio are interesting. Voracious, if she runs in here, or whether they take her to the Sussex for the mile. Sun Maiden, she disappointed.
It's one of her last 2, yeah.
Yeah, but she disappointed at this meeting last year behind Cross Counter in the Gordon. But she just looks a happier filly over 1.25 miles, and she's progressive. And Rawdar, who's just touched off at Ascot, she ran really well at York behind Lamy Tar or whatever she's called, the Gosden filly.
That other disappointing filly, yeah.
And she ran really well that day, and I wonder whether this might be her primary aim.
I'll mention one trained by William Haggis and Maxad. She finished 8th in the Oaks.
You've mentioned the wrong one trained by William Haggis.
Have I?
You mentioned Move Swiftly.
All right, well, you can get onto that in a minute.
You think she'll get the trip?
Yeah, no problem. I mean,
right.
She's won at Royal Ascot, the Duke of Cambridge, 17 runners, soft ground, strong pace. That was on a seasonal debut. I mean, that was a huge performance after a break of around about 8 months. She did win over the extended 9.5 furlong trip previously on the all-weather, albeit at Wolverhampton. But she won here last year. Amazingly, she was rated 85 when she won a handicap. She overcame stall 15 that day, which just shows you how hard it is to win a mile handicap at Goodwood from a wide draw. Only the second horse from 117 runners to win from stall 12 or higher in a mile handicap at Goodwood since the draw was reversed.
So he's not even used his notes again there. Rain Man on the end.
Yeah, he's not even reading mine. Great stuff.
She's rarely out of the first 2, and to win a race of that nature at the Royal Meeting on your seasonal debut, she's versatile with regards to ground. She's got form on good to firm, form on soft. I don't think 10 furlongs round Goodwood, where she's performed well before, is going to be a problem.
Yeah, my only worry about her is that she does use herself quite a bit early on in races. If they get her settled and there's a decent field, I agree with you.
I think it'll be down to the field size. If there's sort of 12 or more runners, you'd be more confident than if there's sort of 5 or 6.
Well, you know how she's going to be ridden, don't you? She's going to be held up out the back, and she'll come with a late run. And
you'll have an idea at that stage of the week whether that run style is well suited or not, won't you?
Yeah, indeed. It's an interesting race. The Nassau Stakes as things stand. I will mention Maxad, who went off at 4-1 for the Oaks. Things didn't really go her way, but I think things didn't really go the way of quite a few fillies in that race at Epsom. And the Nassau Stakes would be a stepping stone, or at least a platform for some of them fillies to bounce back to something like their best. At the time of recording, we don't have a great deal of entries to go on, but Mountie, the opening race at 150 is the Unibet handicap, the 150.
Yeah, I mean, we should talk briefly about the handicaps. Those over the longer trips. Mark Johnson benefits very often, and if you just backed his Class 2 handicappers at Glorious Goodwood, going back to 2010, 20 winners from 140 runners, 14% strike rate, plus £77.50 to a £1 level stake. If he runs sort of 2 or 3 in a race, don't do what I've done in the past and try to pick between them. Just snap them all each way, because you will get the wrong one if you're anything like me. So have a look out for his in the first race there. Also on day one, he's got just one runner in a race he's won 4 times in the last 10 years, and that's Aquarium. That took me by surprise when I saw the final decks for that race. But as regards the rest of day 3, not a lot to say. The Gordon Stakes are 1.5 miles, the Group 3. The last 10 years, Stout's won it 4 times, and all the winners were priced 7 to 1 or shorter. So perhaps don't look beyond the head of the market there.
And you can imagine much the same can be said about a lot of the group races at Glorious Goodwood. That's just about it for Ladies' Day. The Nassau Stakes, I like Medei. Mountie likes Move Swiftly. Sam? Tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one. I'd probably go Rauder if she takes a chance for the Stout.
Okie dokie. So that's about it for Ladies' Day. Keep it GG. Stay with us for day 4 action.